There's more to life than working for the man and doing what you can to put food on your family's plates. There's more to me than bringing home the bread or burning off the change inside my local bar. Instead, there's more to us. We never make a fuss, and we're also decent people, just trying to do the best we can. Go! Somehow, the middle of the road, when status met with quo, we had to find some way to fit in with the generations built up in the past. They're never gonna last, so now we have to fit in with some other guys. Decency is still just built from honesty, a rarity in human beings, but still something I strive for every day. And I'll sing along, I swear to God I'll sing along, even if it's not my song. Somewhere out there, someone sing along with me. Hey, 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 hey. There's more to life than working for the man and doing what you can to put food on your family's plates. There's more to me than bringing home the bread or bringing up the change inside my local bar instead. It's like there's all too much pain. I wouldn't be the same unless I had good people to surround me with sanity. A backbone to the family, not perfect but still lucky. That's something that I realize every day. There's no excuse giving up your dreams or living life it seems like we're all fucking mindless zombies walking on the streets. So go and grab your girl, tell her to change the world. Then grab your friends up here and won't you sing along with me? Hey, 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 hey. We'll never give up, 'cause this world's bad enough with the bullshit and greed and the selfish wealth. Yeah, we're fine with what we got. There's more to life than working for the man and doing what you can to put food on your family's plates. There's more to me than bringing home the bread or bringing up the change inside my local bar. Instead, there's more to us. We never make a fuss, and we're also decent people, just trying to do the best we can. There's more to us. We never make a fuss, and we're also decent people, just trying to do the best we can.
Hello and welcome back to the Goat Cave podcast. Today I have one of my good friends, Lewis Pyke, here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about drug addiction and how he got clean. But first, we're just going to go over a couple BMX updates. Louis, feel free to jump in here if you like. So El Toro, the stairs are being ripped out. I don't know if anybody saw that, but that's pretty sad, man. Those stairs have had actually kind of a legendary feel to them, right? Like a lot of fucking crazy tricks have went down there. And the most recent was the scooter backflip, which was...
Wasn't that a front flip?
I think it was a backflip, right? I'm pretty sure.
By, what's his face, Ryan?
No,
Ryan,
I think it was somebody else, but it was absolutely fucked, man. Like, I seriously cannot believe that a scooter kid backflipped down it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, like, I really hope that they don't rip the stairs out. I do like the clips that I do see from there. It is insane to see the stuff that goes down. I don't think it should be the spot that, like, a lot of BMXers try and go to try and get something. Like, maybe try and find a different spot. There is a lot better stair sets out there. But I guess we'll have to see what happens. The Waffle DIY jam was amazing. It's basically like just a jam that takes place in an old pool, and it has a ton of like DIY work done to it. There's like a crazy concrete hip they added in. The deep section is like 13 feet deep with vert. Some crazy tricks, like some I think somebody like did a 3-whip over a DIY box jump, some like huge 540 transfers. You can check out the video on ourbmx.com. Devin Smiley just released a new 2019 video for a clat, and that is on Dig BMX. Go check that out. The Vans Pro Cup was absolutely amazing. Always, right? But I think it was Kevin Peraza did a flare over a spine to fakie. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like a 7-foot spine. Like, that is just fucked, man. I don't know why you would try that. But Jason Watts took the win with Sergio Leas taking second and Larry Edgar in third. So for music updates, we have Battle for the Bill, July 12th at Harmony Lunch. Illicit will be playing there, so go support them. They were on the podcast last week. Shout out to you guys. One of my favorite bands, Copper Crown, they'll be disbanding, but they're going to be playing one last show, so I'm going to try and keep everybody in the loop for that. They're an amazing band. I'm really sad that they're actually going to be gone. So yeah, definitely check them out when you can. And vinyl of the week is going to be Fluent and Stroll by Big D and the Kids Table. I just picked up that album. It's a 10-year anniversary. Super, super cool. I think it might be on sale right now too, so go check that out. But we're going to play song number 3, which is I Feel Light by Copper Crown, and we'll be back with the Lewis Pyke interview.
When it's right, only walk when you know when it shows. It's full blown. Ooh, tell me, do you feel it's true? You, yeah. 'Cause I'm calling on you. Time it calls your name. Do you
Alrighty, and we're back. Louis, man, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty tired from work.
That's fair. Working those fucking 12-hour days and shit.
Building pools.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool job, actually,
Yeah,
man.
the one fucking pool had a custom beer pong table in it made out of concrete. It's like a $7,000 table. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
People
that's
who own it, we didn't build. They fucked off, or like we fucked off for a year and didn't build it for that long, and then they're kind of mad at us every time we go there. But it's like whatever. We still build it for them.
Yeah, that's fair, as long as it gets done, right?
Yeah.
So, Louis, we're here today because we're going to talk about your addiction with cocaine.
Yeah.
And just other stuff, too. Like, I'm not really too familiar with everything that you've done. I know that we did talk a little bit about your use of cocaine and stuff like that the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Again, I really want to thank you just for coming out and actually
Yeah,
sitting
no
here and
problem.
talking, right? Like, it's really nice to kind of get everything out on the table and really work with this, right? So...
Yeah.
Alrighty, man. So let's kind of I like to start off at the beginning. So what was your childhood like? Did you have kind of like a rough childhood?
Oh yeah, fucking. It was like fucking. It was like fucking abuse. I got fucking locked in my room. Fucking. It's just fucking a whole shit ton of fucking bullshit and got a bunch of like crap. And then fucking 12 years old, I put in this place called Safe Haven. It's like some fucking place downtown Kitchener, which is like fucking. You get put as like a kid if you don't live at home or something. Then like 14, I was in and out there since like 12, and then 14 hit, I got put in a fucking foster home, and I've been in the foster homes ever since, and like all the foster homes is like fucking, I got bullied, I was everything else. Some kid tried fucking suffocating a pillow, and fucking, there's a lot of bullshit with that, but then fucking that's what brought me up to who I am now, to fucking be as strong as I am, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Everybody's got a different upbringing, and it's just really like unfair sometimes, right? Like life itself just doesn't. You just kind of get dealt the cards that you get dealt, and you got to deal with it, right? And I think you've done very well for the cards that you have been dealt, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that at around 14 you were put in a foster home. At what point did you start using drugs?
Start using drugs probably around fucking 17 and a half. Maybe around then.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of late, man. Like, I'm actually really surprised. I would have thought that you would have been using...
like, I've tried experience with other drugs before then, like when I was about maybe 16.
That's fair.
But I didn't really get into them then.
So, like, what was the first drug that you tried then?
Well, it was weed, and then I tried meth, and then fucking I just didn't do anything like that. I quit weed. I didn't even smoke weed, really. I just got into cigarettes. Didn't even drink, really, back then. I didn't think I drank back then at all, to be honest. I was about 16 and a half.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. What's weird is that myself, I smoked my first, I smoked weed for the first time when I was, 14, 15, I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually drink a beer, like an entire can of beer, until I was, 17, I think, which is, really weird. Most people always start out with beer, right?
Yeah.
And how long did you use for then? Like, if you started around 17 consistently using...
It's probably fucking maybe 2.5 years, maybe 2 probably.
Okay.
What's going on for?
It's a decent amount of time. It sucks that it's 2 years of your life is just kind of not gone, but...
It was just rumbled down the drain, but it's fucking only thing you can come up from, right? You look back in the past and you bring yourself up, right?
Yeah, exactly. Although I will admit that is a very short amount of time, so I think that you have a very good chance of being completely sober from now on, right? I think sometimes
it is hard, right? Because fucking it's just every time I drink and I get fucking tipsy or I get drunk, I fucking it just hits me that's when I used to use all the time, because I drank every day mostly, and then I'd crave. That's when I get my cravings, bad fucking cravings, and it's real bad. I shake sometimes. I fucking my jaw will fucking go oh, I used to be when I was on it and everything else. And
yeah, it's tough, man. A lot of drugs like that, they are addictive for a reason, right? And if you don't take them for a while and then you get drunk or anything like that, if you kind of start to fall into that pattern again, it can actually bring you back to it, which is really unfortunate, right?
It's scary to look at, but
yeah,
that's fair. Hope for the best.
Yeah, pretty much. So you said you used consistently for about 2 years. What drugs were you using consistently?
Cocaine.
Cocaine?
Yeah.
That's fucking expensive, man.
Oh yeah, fucking $100 a gram to one night. Fuck. I don't remember what fucking night it was. It was either my birthday or it was fucking Valentine's Day. I don't remember what night it was. I spent around $750 fucking in like a fucking hour and a half span on it. So it just fucking took my money, ate it away, and I'd be left with no groceries, fucking nothing, and I'd be fucking having like none. So
it sucks, man. That's really sad to hear, but you know what? You're doing a lot better now, so there's that. Do you feel that like alcohol kind of makes you go to it? Because I do, like, personally myself, I look at pot, alcohol, as well as like even coffee as a quote unquote drug, because it changes it changes like your state of mind, right? And I think that a lot of people use the term drug very like aggressively, right? Yeah. They don't actually look at it in like the term that it actually is, and that to me is really just I don't know. Like, I think that if you're going to call, like, pharmacy drugs that actually do help people drugs, then, you know what, there are people that can use drugs and use them consistently and be fine, but I think it really depends, right? So, at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to your personality, right? Whether you have an addictive personality. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Do you have an addictive personality?
Well, like, my real dad, he was, like, fucking addicted to all that shit, so it's kind of like an upbringing from that, and that's where I get that kind of side from. Thank God I have a sister. She didn't get that side from it, right? And, like, fucking, I got that kind of side from it, so that's when I first tried it. It's just fucking, that's it. Fucking came on.
I feel like men do get the like bad side of that, mainly because of like testosterone and then just other stuff that's going on within our bodies, right? We feel as if that would be something to go to. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of women that are addicted to drugs, obviously, but
no doubt.
I just feel like maybe men get it a little worse sometimes. Why do you think you started using drugs, if you don't mind me asking?
It's not really a reason. It's not, I wasn't depressed or anything. It's just I was at my buddy's place down by fucking Fairview Park Mall. I was in his apartment. He's like, you want a line, Louis? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know, man. Before then, I hated the feeling, or I hated seeing people do it. Maybe like that cringe thing, where I just fucking seen someone snort some, just made me like cringe, and then fucking I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. So I did it. And then fucking it all started probably about 3 weeks after, or to a month and a half after. It's fucking there.
Yeah, it's fair, man. I can honestly see that happening. Have you ever tried to get sober before and just kind of went back to using, or is this your first time?
I've tried like fucking maybe 3-4 times, and it just fucking always happened, and it just not really fucking didn't do me any good. So I just fucking went away, and that's what did me.
So let's actually talk about that. Where did you go? What did you do?
I went to I was fucking on my ends, where it was like homeless and fucking everything else. I was addicted really bad, and then fucking it was like January. I think I left January 18th this fucking past year here, and was that 2019? Yeah, it's 2019. Yeah, and then fucking I left 20-hour drive, left with a backpack, and fucking said fuck it all. Drove 20 hours down to Liscombe, Nova Scotia, and when we arrived at this fucking house, we drove this, it's probably about a fucking 2-minute long drive up the driveway, and you just broken down house where my buddy was staying, and it's fucking, there's no power. We lived without any power for fucking almost 5 months down there.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
And I had to go buy a chainsaw. I was always up for doing like physical shit, and it just like helped me clean myself up, right? I barely drank out there, really. I've had beers here and there. It's expensive down there, but I didn't really drink, and it cleaned me up, helped me show what life really was.
That's awesome, man. You definitely look a lot better than like the last time I saw you, right? Like you can tell that even your like muscle mass has changed, and you're just looking like healthier, which is good. Something I do want to touch on is, how do you feel about like alcohol and beer? Does it affect you at all about that stuff? Do you think that it can kind of
every time it's not really, I'll have a beer, maybe like a 6-pack, but as soon as I like start getting getting drunk, it's fucking, then it brings it back, like fucking I'll be browsing my phone on social media, and I'll see an old picture of how I used to be, and it's like it is, and I just fucking cravings pop up, and then fucking I just start fucking bringing back memories and everything else, and it's like it gets bad from there. But you just got to get through it, right? There's no point in stopping yourself and going back.
No, of course, man. That's very true. And for most people that like maybe don't know this, you're actually only 5 months sober. So I will admit that 5 months is absolutely fucking no time at all.
No.
However, I did really want to have you in here just to talk about this. And you know what? In 5 years from now, if you're still sober, you still haven't used, then we'll have you back on to really kind of touch on everything again,
The
right?
experience
So,
and...
yeah, man, thank you for that. But what do you think your lowest point when you were using was?
Probably, to be honest, probably before I left for Nova Scotia. I was living out of my buddy's fucking... I got kicked out of my parents. Well, my parents are all fucked. They've been fucked all my life, so... In a sense, I left, and then I went to my buddy's bar. He had a bar outside, and it was like, he had one heater was fucking still, you're freezing. It was like negative 20 still. And I was out there sleeping up there for about a week, and then fucking my buddy Caleb, my best friend from grade 2, had me over for the last 2 days of the week, and then fucking I was all fucking down, depressed, coming down off the drugs, just fucking hating my life. And then I got a message from my buddy Pete saying, you want to come to Nova Scotia? And I said, you know what, fuck it, I'll take the opportunity, and that's what just fucking flipped everything around.
That's awesome, man. Thank God for Pete, right? Like,
Yeah.
that actually, having something like that there, sometimes you just need a push, right? Like,
Yeah.
had he not actually told you about that or invited you out, you might not have never went, right?
No.
So, definitely, that's awesome to find out about that. Did you ever think you'd become addicted at all?
To be honest, no, I didn't think I'd ever get addicted. The first time I did it, I thought it would just be a fucking one-time thing, but then fucking I did it again, and then fucking went on from then, and fucked me up for a bit, and fucking everything else, so...
That's for sure. So something else I wanted to kind of touch on is when you start using, you start to kind of hang out with people that also are going to be using, obviously. That's just how it goes, right?
It's like a chain reaction.
It's your interests, right? If you're interested in taking drugs, then you're going to hang out with people that are also interested in taking drugs.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was a bad decision? Or have you met people that you're still friends with, that you still like, that still use?
No, I'm not really... I consider him a friend, but not really a friend because I don't really want to fucking part of them, right? Some of them, there's still one or two I talk to. It's mainly one, but it's like fucking, I gotta get him out of the picture because he's still fucking using, right? I don't want to have that one night where I'm fucking hammered and he's like, oh, you want a fucking line? And it's like, boom, fucking, I wake up next morning and I'm like, fuck it, there you go, there's fucking 5 months, there's a year down the fucking drain, right?
Yeah, it's definitely, you got to be careful, right? So, when I had Stretch on a couple of years ago to talk about his drug addiction, he was talking a lot about having to actually, like, you know, disconnect himself from anybody that he met using drugs. And it's kind of rough because, like, maybe you actually do really like these people, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to do what's good for you, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel like that's what you have to do, I feel like, you know, they should try and understand that. Maybe they won't get it at first, but, you know, in a couple of years from now, they really will. And, like, I will admit, I feel like a lot of people around your age do actually, they do use drugs.
Well, yeah, in this era, it's fucking... I've
in
noticed
this area,
it's more
really bad.
In this era as well, you know? Like, in this fucking generation, I noticed it's a lot more fucking a popular thing now.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are using a lot of fucking drugs. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, Canada got ranked, I think it was 2nd or 3rd in the world for fucking cocaine and liquor use.
Yeah, I can believe that. Now, one thing that a lot of people might not know about is fentanyl and how it's been it's been in a lot of different, like, strains of cocaine and just everything, right? Like, it really started out a couple of years ago back in BC, but it does start to really, like, come across the country, and it's really fucked up, man. It can really, like, it can kill you
not even
instantly.
A sand grain. It's fucking,
if you put in
there's
too
weed
much,
now out there that's like that.
I'm kind of on the fence about that. I'm like, I can believe that, but I also kind of can't. Because I'm like, it's just, I don't know. To me, I'm like, it would cost more money to put that in there than it's worth, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're actually physically just trying to kill somebody, it doesn't make sense.
$10 a gram for what, like $50 worth of fucking, or something with fentanyl, like.
It just doesn't, like, I don't think that that's what is going on. However, I can't be, like, blind to it, obviously, right? Like, I do have to kind of recognize that maybe it is actually happening. But I wanted to ask you, man, like, did you ever really worry about that? And, maybe just buying the wrong stuff and end up like,
Well, yeah, I had the one night I came back from I was renting a room and I came back, like, I fucking got these 2 bumps and my tolerance is way higher than that. I used to do fucking, it's like, I'm not trying to brag, but I could do like grams, probably 3 grams, 4 grams, and I'd be fucking, that's about it. And I did 2 bumps, so this chick gave me 2 bumps, like half a line or whatever, and I get back to I was feeling a bit off on the bus and nodding off, and I get back to my buddies, and I just fucking collapsed on this floor, and then he fucking woke me up and told me fucking I just collapsed, didn't remember anything, and fucking to what he told me, so.
wow, man, that's very scary. What point did that happen? Was that?
That was probably fucking midway to fucking using.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's I feel like midway was when it was actually kind of becoming a new thing. A lot of people were finding out about it. I actually have a friend who one of their siblings passed away because of it, and it's kind of scary, man. You really don't want that to happen, obviously.
No.
Did you ever try, like, because they do have kits out there that you can get that
The
will,
lock
like,
zone or
yeah.
something, yeah.
Did you ever bother picking one of those up or not
No.
really? Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I think it would have been smarter for myself to be doing it because the shit was really laced and put in the cocaine and that type of fucking substances. So I think I should have picked one up just to be on the safe side. But then again, fucking, I've had 2 buddies pass away in January, then February.
so with them passing away, was that something that kind of pushed you in this direction to get sober? Or?
It helped me. It was when I was out in Nova Scotia too as well, and it helped me get sober. Yeah, so it made me realize a bit more and come to conclusion that it's
not
for
worth
me,
it,
and
right?
It's not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to be like super careful with that stuff. Now, when this happened, was this like, something really hard to kind of grasp onto? I mean, obviously,
What's
a
that?
friend,
Like my buddies? Or?
yeah, with like a friend passing away.
It was
difficult.
hard, but it's something fucking you keep them in your head, right? You can't just dwell on it, right? Because there's stupidity to do it, but as well as you have them in your heart to keep them. It's fucking. I was stupid to do drugs. If I passed away, fucking, that's my stupidity, right?
Yeah,
Even if it's you don't know it's in the thing, it's still you're the one that chose to go down that path. It's your own responsibility.
Yeah.
And everything else. I would just kind of sound like an ass like that. It's my perspective.
Well, I mean,
though.
I feel like a lot of people do need to kind of take responsibility for their actions like that, right?
Yeah.
It sucks, but at the end of the day, it was your choice to take drugs, and it was like your choice to not bother with a naloxone kit or anything like that,
Yeah.
right?
Nobody else can run your life.
Exactly. Alrighty, well, we're going to play one more song, and that is Stupid Song by Teenage Bottlerocket. And when we come back, we're actually going to talk about how Louis decided to get sober and kind of some advice he might have for somebody.
I wake up and roll out of my bed, and then I brush my teeth and comb my head, eat my Wheaties and I go to work, where people treat me like a fucking jerk. And when it's getting close to quitting time, that's when I really start to come alive. I rest home and have a drink or two. That's when I get the urge to listen to, just another stupid song, a song that any idiot can sing, a song that isn't gonna let you down, because it isn't about anything. It's just another stupid song.
Alrighty, and we're back. That was a Stupid Song by Teenage Bottlerocket off their new album. I love those guys. Those guys are sweet. Alrighty, so Louis, we talked a little bit about how you kind of started using drugs, and I kind of want to take it on more of a positive note. So let's talk a little bit about how you quit using and started to really get sober. So, at what point did you decide to quit using, and how did you go about that? So we talked a little bit about Nova Scotia, but bring us in a little bit more.
Well, it's probably like the fucking first week or second week I got to Nova Scotia, and as I'm sitting there, I have a fucking withdrawals. Fuck, man, Jesus. Even though it was like fucking a short period of time of using, but still, you got them, right? It's a fucking addictive drug. Fucking, I just sitting there the one time, my buddy's outside, I'm just sitting there, and I'm just fucking looking at the ground. Phone's fucking dead, no fucking power. Can't even flip on a light switch, can't even play any music, right? So I'm just sitting looking at the ground, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to just say, fuck it, restart, fucking, it's just fucking, I went all that way, and thank God for my buddy, because otherwise I probably would have been still fucking shitting on the fucking street, going through that fucking road, right?
That's, yeah, thank God, man. That's definitely a hard place to be in, but you know what? I feel like everybody kind of deserves at one point in their life to kind of get a redo, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
To kind of restart. And for myself, years ago, when I was in like public school, I got bullied constantly, and then I went to a boarding school in London for 2 years, for the first 2 years of high school. So I was away from my family, my parents, all the time for like 2 years, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of learn to be more independent, and you learn about the things that really do matter in life. But then when I moved to Kitchener, I kind of had a complete redo, right? I was able to kind of start fresh and, meet a lot of new people and go from there. I definitely think that it helped shape my life, obviously, like the first part of it, and I definitely wouldn't regret anything of it. Do you have any regrets using it all? Do you think it's kind of showed you the kind of person that you want to be, or?
Well, fuck, I don't know. Just fucking, I regret it. I could say you regret it, yeah. It was kind of maybe I was just fucking, it fucked me up every time I used it, like fucking, I'd come back to where I was staying, and I'd be up till fucking 9, 10 in the morning, sleep, wake up.